All right, I think we're here. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. I hope you saw my message in the comments. So I'm just going to let everybody know up front. I got this little light on my face again, coming from the window. Um, that some people have been contacting me saying, "Hey, I'm watching every episode. I love them, but I try to comment. It won't let me comment. Well, it won't let you comment if you're not signed into YouTube. So it's possible that you came here from Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else, or someone sent you a link. You clicked on it. You're here. You're watching. But if you're not signed into YouTube, there's a couple things you can't do. You can't comment. You can't like. You can't subscribe. You can't do that stuff. And I want you to do that stuff. So make sure that you're signed in. So whatever you need to do to get signed into YouTube, go ahead and do it. That way you can like the video, share it, whatever else, yada, 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 whatever you need to do. All right. Greetings, everyone. It is Saturday, the 18th of April at 2 p.m. Central Time. And this is our update of the world situation. So yesterday, so here's the thing. My wife has been with her sister. And so she came home yesterday. We had some work to do on the vehicles and all this kind of stuff. She's spending the weekend here. And then during the challenge, the 30-day challenge, most of the time she's not going to be here because the whole challenge is that I'm going to be doing this alone, right? We'll get into that in just a minute. So she got here yesterday. We were running around doing some things. We basically need to get a lot of things off the table before we start the challenge. And so we got one of the cars fixed. We got one of the other cars got new tires, two new tires. We actually went to the grocery store. And so I've been reporting toilet paper reports, not because we need toilet paper, but because to me it's just a symbol of kind of where we are. And so people have reported where things are, where they are, and all that kind of stuff since March 12th or 13th. At any of the times that I've been to the store, there has not been toilet paper. Even when we went to Aldi, which is in Brownwood, where I had heard there was toilet paper, there wasn't any. Greetings from Montana. Thank you, Pat, and thank you for the report on the video and the sound. So anyways, yesterday we went in early to take the car that needed tires. We went by the store to pick up a few things, decided to do a TP report, went and checked. They had toilet paper. Wasn't a whole lot of it, but there was, some of the 12-pack rolls or whatever. And so we thought that was kind of cool. So we went and did a bunch of other stuff. We ended up going, it was going to take them a long time on the car because they only had two guys working. So we ended up going home, getting stuff done at home. Then we went back to town to pick up the car when the tires were ready. And I had forgotten that we forgot to pick up a few things at the store. So we went back to the store and they were out. Toilet paper was gone. So then I needed to go over to Family Dollar to get some of these rubber bins for another project. And they had toilet paper there. So Coleman, Texas, as of yesterday, had toilet paper. It's the first time I've seen it in any. And I maybe they've had it and it hasn't been there when I'm there. But hey, Michigan, good to see you. Hello, everybody. Say hi right in the comment section and hit the like button. And that way we all know who's here and what's going on, and we can all be friendly, etc. I'm glad the sound is good. So that was like a little toilet paper report. What we ought to have is a sound like when I'm doing these shows. We could have a toilet paper report. We haven't needed any, so it's not been a big deal, but it is to me. It's kind of a bellwether of what's actually going on. Got real cold. I mentioned it on yesterday's program. Got real cold. It was cold overnight. It was cold this morning. Cold most of the day. Overcast. We didn't get any rain. Hello, Russ in Ohio. Good to see you. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about off-grid power needs, but I'm here for you. I already know what I have. I already know what I need. I already know what I can do. I already know all this stuff. And so I'm here for you. If you got something you want to talk about, I don't have to talk about anything. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So type your questions, comments, anything else like that you have like that into the comment section, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Off-grid power needs. So I've got a chapter in my book, Surviving Off-Grid, and there's a chapter called, and it'll be backwards probably, Light and Heat. And this is an important thing because before you start considering, even if you're not going off grid, I'm not asking everybody to go off grid. I'm not telling you to. I'm trying to teach people how to think. And so, even if you want to start considering your dependency or just your weakness of the system or anything like that, you have to have a good understanding of the history of electrical power. Um, when did electrical power become a necessity? In other words, were people prior to 70 years ago living, or 80 years ago in a lot of places? Hello, Montana. Were they living like barbarians? Some guy, I think I told this story. Some guy came on my Facebook the other day. He's like, before Bill Gates, we were living in the Stone Ages. Does somebody really believe that? Some of the most fantastic, glorious epics of human history were prior to electrical power, prior to Bill Gates. The fact that you can send spam to a million people at once doesn't mean that we're suddenly not in the Stone Ages. Uh, just got back from a store run. Was more like a normal Saturday out there. Yeah, that's good for now. We'll see how that goes. Maybe start making some arrests next week, from what I'm hearing. Um, anyways, so and so my book actually goes into that. There's this mindset that electricity is a essential good, and electricity is neither essential or a default good. It has no moral quality to it. It is either good or bad based on its application and based on its results, what it does. Um, and so, even saying that right there is so foreign to the modern thinker. There's so many absolute, complete statistical lies. I call them statistical lies because they've been lied to by statistics about what life was like before electricity, that people actually are raised and believe that we would all drop dead. And 90% of the people would, just because of their dependency, not because of their need. But that electrical power, and before electrical power, everybody died in their 30s. Everybody had diseases. Everybody was, muddling around in the dark. And then all of a sudden in the 1890s, a light came on and it started to spread. And all of a sudden now we're all on a paying basis and everything's great. Nothing bad could happen. And so I take that to task in my book. I am not anti-electricity. I'm using electricity right now. I have electric light, 3-watt electric bulb right here, plus the light that's coming in the window. Hello, Bulgaria. Good to see you. So there's this on-off mechanism in the human brain, especially the mass man, that says something is all good or it's all bad. If you're saying some element of something is bad, you must hate that thing, or you're a hypocrite because you're using it even though you hate it. And there's this idea that the Amish hate electricity, or the Amish are scared of it, or the Amish think it's the devil, and none of that is true. And so what we do, and what I do in the book, is explain light and heat and the history of it, its positive uses, its tendency towards dependency, which is where we are. And so, and I go through some scenarios in the book as to different ways that people who are off grid can use, starting off with decolonization of the mind, but different ways to use power, what the power problem is. Um, Example number one, on grid with an alternative power backup system. With some people, you live in a suburbs and you have grid power, but you'd like to have an alternative power backup system. So I discussed that. Example number two, you live on alternative power and then you have a preparedness backup, some alternative way to do things. So like me, we live, and we're the third option, which is we live off grid or beyond off grid, and then we have some alternative power as a spot need, if they're a spotty need. So right now I need to have power. So here's the way that worked today. Been walking with the wife, hanging out, doing some things here and there. So we walked down here about 30 minutes ago, came in, checked my off-grid solar power really, really low on power because it's been overcast for 2 days. So I've got the car pulled up over here, hooked up battery cables to the batteries, and I'm running off a car alternator right now. Doesn't use a lot of gas, pretty steady, and it charges the batteries while I'm doing this. So my wife came down and she's like, "Hey, if you're gonna have the car plugged in," she brought her little backup battery that she uses for charging her phone. So, this is basically a beyond off grid life with spotty um, preparedness version of power available. And for some people, that's the solution. And what the general thing is what you want to do is, first of all, learn about power. You cannot go through life ignorant and undeliberate about your use of things and not ever consider the thing. So you consider the thing, and I'm not asking you to change. I'm just saying think about it and go, okay, maybe I live in a suburbs, I live in a city, I have grid power, I have no backup. So I mentioned yesterday, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I thought your little off-grid thing was going to be easy until I started actually thinking about it and about what I would do if I didn't have power, if I didn't have electricity. Just think about those things, and then you can make applications that lessen your dependency. And then a step beyond that, there's an application that, so perhaps um, you get, we talked about I have the Goal Zero Yeti 150. It's called a generator. It's not a generator, it's a battery, but it operates like a generator. You can plug stuff into it. That's what I have plugged in over here that's charging. And quite often I do my internet and my laptop off of the Goal Zero 150. Because of the challenge that's coming up starting next week, I put on my Amazon wish list, link below, the Goal Zero Yeti 400, which is going to allow me to go 24 or 48 hours. If I have a real bad power thing and I cannot use the car or any way to charge the batteries, I can use that Goal Zero 400. Pat Tolbert says Amish people mind their own business, love shopping at their stores in St. Ignatius, and now have one in Stevensville. Amen. Last verse is one of the neater things I've seen on YouTube was a steam powered machine shop, lathes and drill presses and whatnot, all powered by belts tied to the steam engine. Those are fantastic. I've seen in an Amish community, I've seen horse powered shops. So they have whole shops that they have power tools. The power tools run off of horse. There's a horse that just walks on a treadmill. Fantastic. Those are all alternative power systems. So the levels we're talking about here is you have an on-grid system, you have the off-grid system, which is alternative power, and then the third way is not requiring power. Ideally, everything that is mission sensitive, mission critical, you will have the three areas covered. So you could even do that stuff without electrical power. That's your ideal. That's what you should be shooting for. So whether it's from making your coffee to um, a tool. So your on-grid system, you got your circular saw, you plug it into the wall, you cut your 2x4. Your off-grid system, perhaps you got a small generator, or you have enough power, because power tools take a lot of power, that you can run maybe you have a small solar panel system or something like that, and you can run. What I would suggest is that you don't try to run a big circular saw with your off-grid system. What you do is you get a Ryobi, Makita, some uh, uh, power battery charging system that you can then run a circular saw and cut your 2x4. That's your second level in your bunker principle, right? What's your third level? Your third level is a handsaw. I was shocked when I took a hand tools class that almost nobody knows how to use a handsaw anymore. And there is a trick to it. It's not easy. It's not just going back and forth. There's actually tricks to it to make them work real well without wearing yourself out or hurting yourself. And so that's your third level. Your third level is a handsaw. You look at different tasks and you say, how do I do this? I have a full power need. I have an alternative power need. I have a no power need. And then when you can satisfy those three ways according to the bunker principle, then you're set. It's not that you're not going to get COVID. It's not that, meteor is not going to hit your house. It's not a guarantee against disaster. What it is it's a added level of security that gives you calm and gives you power, spiritual, emotional, psychological power to keep going and to know that you're okay. People have lived this way for thousands of years. Why am I talking about power during the current crisis? I've talked about this quite a few times, but I want to mention it again here. The reason why is because our systems are stressed. 2 reports yesterday of people that lost power locally. The systems are stressed and it is not hot out yet. It's very likely, if things remain the same, we're going to see massive moving, rolling blackouts and stuff coming up this summer, going into the fall. That can get worse based on health, based on other disasters that happen, fuel availability, coal availability, fuel oil, all of these things. And so now is the time to think and learn about this stuff. I've got, like I said, an entire chapter here that will teach you all of the rudiments of how to think about power and heat. Hello, Scott Glenn. Let me back up here. Russ said, ordered the Yeti 150. Excellent. It arrived beeping, stopped beeping, but wouldn't take a charge after 16 hours. Note, if you order from Amazon, make sure that you're not ordering from a third party. Will not accept the batteries sold by them in returns. A third party will, but already called Goal Zero and they're sending a replacement. Excellent. Glad that you're getting it. Sorry that you had a problem. Glad it's being taken care of. You're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. I've been using mine for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. And it's just fantastic. It's one of the best things I've ever owned. And I've had a lot of bad experiences with power stuff. Bad experiences with generators, bad experiences with all different types of tools. But the 2 things I would not want to do without is the Ryobi power system, 18-volt power system that we have, which not only runs tools, which are not great, they're not the best quality in the world, but those batteries run other stuff that we use, including lights and things like that. So those are the 2 things. The Goal Zero Yeti 400 and 150 are linked below. Please, if anything I tell you sparks something, or you decide you want my book, or you decide you want something I'm talking about, don't just run off to Amazon and type it in. Go to one of my links. It could be any link. It doesn't have to be the link of the thing that you want. Go to one of my Amazon links in the description. Click on that. When you get there, then type into the search engine what it is you're looking for, and whatever you buy on that trip, it cost you no more money, but they'll give me a little money, a little 50 cents, a dollar, whatever it is. And so if you order 47 things and spend $10,000, I might make a few coins. If you do like most people and you go and buy something that's 20, 50, 100 bucks, then I'll make $1 or so. But it's a good way to support the program. Thank you, Russ, for using the link. I noticed a few people have bought the Yeti 150. I cannot wait, and it's going to happen during the 30-day challenge, but to do a review on the Goal Zero Yeti 400. I'm really, really looking forward. I basically become a commercial for the Goal Zero system because I think it works. One of the things you run into a lot when you're dealing with alternative power is cheesy, horrible, poorly made junk. A lot of it. And so when you actually run into something that works well, that they stand behind, boy, I'm really, really excited about it. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to open it up to you guys. It doesn't, I mean, we can cut this short if you guys don't want to talk. I'm glad that so many of you are here. Please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe. I mentioned it earlier, but I want to tell everybody, if you've been watching the show and watching the programs and you have not been able to comment, we figured out what that is. It's that you have to be signed into YouTube to comment. So just following the Facebook link or the Twitter link does not automatically mean that you're going to be signed in. If you're already signed into YouTube and then you hit a link, then you'll probably be signed in. But if you just followed a link here, then it's possible that you're not signed in. Another thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are watching the videos, and a lot of people are watching the videos later, but we're still not getting a whole lot of likes. And so you have to be signed in to YouTube to like the videos. And likes are everything, man. Likes are like, you're not getting paid. And so let's just say you were out there working for free. Let's say you're working out in the heat and it's 110 degrees and you're doing it for free, and somebody could help you, but all you're asking for is a breeze. Likes are a breeze, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it's good to have a breeze when it's hot. So that's all I'm asking for is a breeze here, so that you click the like button. And if you have questions and comments, go ahead and type them in. There's so many things we can talk about power oriented, but it doesn't have to be that. We can talk about whatever else you want. What else did we do? Oh, so my antivirus is going to pop up a screen and block me. All right. So last verses was reading about Joseph when he was first sold as a slave and then sent to prison. Despite all the setbacks, he continued to work honestly and hard at what he could. Exactly. Exactly. And I've got setbacks, man. But what you do is you just keep working. You just keep working, and you leave the rest in the Lord's hands, right? Uh, Joseph was a slave, but he was also in the Lord's will. That's where the Lord wanted him, and the Lord was saving him up to bring him out as a type of Christ to save his people. All right, y'all, get your questions and your comments in. There's so many things we can talk about. So we went to town twice yesterday. We didn't do a whole lot of shopping, but we did go to Shopping Basket, which is our grocery store, and we went to the Family Dollar. Family Dollar was cool. They had toilet paper there, which was a surprise to me. A lot of people coming in and out. I like uh, who was it? Bill said a little while ago, basically going to town was kind of like almost like a normal Saturday. Oh, we lost sound. Is it better now? It can't have been for very long, so let me know if the sound is better. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. Thank you for them. That's a breeze. That's a cool breeze on a hot day blowing on me. That and subscribes are the best thing, and shares. So like after it's over, if you any of the videos you've thought, well, that was really good, Bunker did all right, you share those. You don't have to share them on social media. You can just like send them in links to people too. But I'm here waiting on you guys. Get my book. All right. So I think Pat, I think that might have been you. People are having internet problems too. This is the book Surviving Off Grid. There are two offs in the title. That was a clever thing that I did that may have been a bad idea, but there were two offs in the title. So get this book. There's a lot of great ideas in it. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. This is the hardback. This is the paperback. So let me tell you this. Here's a problem. So I wrote this book, and like anybody else, atheists, secular humanists, Buddhists, anybody else, they put their beliefs in their book. Did you not know that? How many of you out there have read Ready Player One? Good book, sci-fi book. They made it into a big Hollywood movie. Ernie Klein, Ready Player One of the best sci-fi books. I mean, it's a good book. It's not great, but it was a good book. First 10 pages of the book, there's a long diatribe about why he doesn't believe in God. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I don't care if Ernie Klein believes in God. I don't care if the main character believes in God. That's the character. That's somebody else's belief system. I don't have to, it doesn't offend me that someone has a belief system. So when I wrote this book, and I'm very clear about it, if you read the description of the book on Amazon, it tells you that. It tells you that this is not a how-to book. It says it right in the description. This is not a how-to book. This is a how-to-think book. It is a philosophy book, right? My philosophy includes my spiritual beliefs. So I put that in the book like every other author. If you go and read a political novel, if you go read a political nonfiction book, if you read any other book, the author has put a belief system in there, either their own or their characters. And I don't get to, nor would I go to Ready Player One and go, this book is crap. This book is garbage. Because in the first 10 pages, he gives a diatribe about how God doesn't exist in the first 10 pages. That offends me, and this book gets 1 star. So when you give a book 1 star, you're telling people not to buy it. You're telling people that it's garbage. And the only reason why is because you don't agree that someone else has the right to put their belief system and their philosophy in there. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to Surviving Off Grid. There's a link in the description. Go to the book on Amazon, scroll down, look at the reviews. There are either 5-star reviews or 1-star reviews. There are dozens of 1-star reviews. You can look at the review of the book. These people who act like they are open-minded, secular humanist atheists who don't like to put their opinions on other people, even though it's in the stinking description of the book, even though it's in the description of the book on Amazon where they bought it. So here's the thing. An ex-CIA agent contacted me and said, hey, I want to do an interview with you. He's a Christian. He's got a podcast. He said, I want to do an interview with you. I said, great. In the interview, we talked about the fact that that my spiritual beliefs are in the book. There are scriptures in the book. There's tons of stuff in the book that's applicable even if you're not a believer. The entire philosophy is applicable even if you're not a believer. A guy listened to the podcast, went and bought the book, and then gave me 1 star and blasted me in the reviews because basically his money was stolen from him because he had to listen to somebody else's point of view. So I'm just asking you 2 things. Go to Surviving Off Grid on Amazon, read the last couple of reviews, downvote those idiots, these morons who should not be allowed to be on Amazon. They shouldn't be. I mean, if you can't be open-minded enough and not offended enough to listen to somebody else's point of view, I can learn how to make a chair from a Buddhist. A lot of you are Mormons. I'm not a Mormon, but I can learn stuff from you. I'm not offended by what you believe. Every real, true belief system, whether it's atheism or whether it's Christianity or whatever you think is true, if it's a true religious system, it is exclusive. Their book, 99% of the books that are out there, especially fiction, are secular humanist scientism books. And I'm fine with that. I don't impose my opinion on other people and go, oh, I'm going to try to ruin your livelihood and ruin the reviews of your book because I'm not capable of reading anything I don't agree with. I think King David's story is relevant to the current situation. He prayed against his enemies and God saved him from them. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's true. I don't know how that's relevant, but I don't know what you're saying, how that applies to people writing about my book. I'll always pray for my enemies. I also pray against them. So you have your Psalms where David's praying against them, but I'm also praying for them, you know. All right. Critical thinking skills are not that common in this day and age. Absolutely. Logic is not being taught. Reason is not being taught. People are so, going back to our talk yesterday, people are so systematized and they are so specialized. They're incapable of operating in a system that isn't a bubble of same think. They're the worst people in the world. By the way, they are the worst people in the world. These are not people who are just given bad reviews because they got offended because somebody else's belief system. These are horrible people. I guarantee you I've met them. If you're the kind of person that goes through life hating because somebody else has a belief system different than yours, you're a horrible person. And that's reflected in every other area of your life, I guarantee you. These are people that will steal from you. These are immoral people. That's just because you don't just have one little glitch in the matrix. You don't have one little glitch that goes, I'm a perfectly nice person. I'm perfectly empathetic. I'm perfectly able to understand and talk to other people unless they disagree with me. So that was my little rant. I'm hoping some of you will go on there, read those reviews, downvote them. If you have not reviewed the book, did you realize that's how authors make it, is reviews? And so I need some reviews on the Surviving Off Grid book. What part of the challenge are you most looking forward to in the coming week? Thank you for a question about that. I appreciate questions that improve the program. The thing I'm looking for the most is I'm going to say the like with my fitness mission. I blacked out with my fitness mission. The thing that really I look forward to the most was the determination, having a goal. And most of the time we kind of go through life and we're trying to keep things going and we're trying to accomplish certain tasks. But I've always been a very mission oriented person. And so if there's a mission, I have to do this thing, and this is what I'm going to be doing, whether it's a 7-day fast, no food at all, or whatever it is. Hey, Kobe, good to see you from Florida. All right. And so, you know, that's the thing. There's things I'm not looking forward to on the challenge. I'm not looking forward to being alone for all that time. That's going to be difficult. I can deal with it. I could do the alone. But see, it's just like the Alone series on History Channel I've talked about. I would be great on that show because if I'm on a mission, then I can stay on the mission however long it takes. But I'm not looking forward to not seeing my wife every day. I'm not looking forward to not. We take walks 4 or 5 times a day. We're going to take a walk as soon as I get off of here. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to a lot of the um, physical challenges because I'm going to be doing a lot of physical labor. Um, I like I'm like everybody else. I'm just like you. I don't eat the foods most of you eat, but I like them. And so I'm not looking for, I've had raccoon, I've had rabbit. I'm not looking forward to eating raccoon and rabbit. I just soon get these sale steaks they had on at the shopping basket, ribeyes that thick, that big around for $3 or $4. I don't know what. I guess somebody's dumping beef because we got a bunch of them, but I'm not going to have ice, so I can't keep a bunch of meat around. So no ice for whatever the 30 days after my ice melts. So all that meat's going to have to be eaten or canned within the first 6 to 10 days, 6 to 7 days probably. So I'm not looking forward to that. What I am really looking forward to is the challenge, though. I'm looking forward to mentally being able to work through problems, solutions, what I have to do every day, what the so like I'm going to do a whole episode that's just going to be called Salt because for a month and a half I've been preaching to you people salt is one of the most important things you can have, and I'm going to prove it to you because I'm going to do a whole episode where we're going to talk about salt, canning meat, uh, cooking, solar oven cooking, all that kind of stuff I'm looking forward to. So another thing I'm not looking forward to is the technological challenge because I've never done anything even close to this scope. Most of my videos, like if you go back and watch the How We Do Stuff videos, those took me a week. You know, shooting maybe was all taking place in a day, but then I did all the editing and I'm not that good at it. So the technological challenge of working the cameras, keeping things charged, making sure I get the footage sent off. Some of them I'm going to be editing myself, so I may spend half of the day working and half the day editing. So all of that I'm not really looking forward to, but I am looking forward to the challenge. A lot of it's going to be fun. A lot of it's going to be stuff I have not done in 15 years. When you have 4 children who are able and they learn and they'll do the butchering, I usually sit around sharpen knives, and then they would do the butchering. I'm going to be doing it myself. So I probably haven't done a large animal myself. Well, I did a deer last year, I guess, or 2018. Anyways, greetings to everybody. Glad you're here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. Make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. I can stay around as long as I need to, but if there's not any questions, I appreciated War Dog Heim. It's a great question because those are the kind of things that really kind of make me want to do this. I plan my spiel, my rant for the day, but the things that make me want to do it is people actually asking questions, not telling me, you know, whatever, conspiracy theory stuff or whatever it is that, but people actually asking questions about things they want to know. That's what I really enjoy. So I'll give it a couple minutes. If we don't get any questions, we'll seal it up. We'll do more about heat and light during the 30 days. You're gonna see a lot of that. I'm excited about the equipment that's being ordered getting here. I'm excited about the Goal Zero Yeti 400. I'm excited about the camera that's going to have night vision on it. Hopefully it gets here early enough in the challenge that I don't have to go a week or 2 weeks without night vision, because a good third of my day is in the dark. And so hold on just a second. I got a thing came in here. I don't know what that was. All right. So I'm looking for questions. If I don't get any, I'm going to go walk with my wife. So today, basically a day off, been hanging out. All right. So one more thing I wanted to tell you. There's only, I think, 2 areas where I am actively cheating on the whole scenario of the system. I have said that I am not going to bring in any new survival equipment. That is 99.9% true. I did have on my list at Amazon wish list a fishing pole, collapsible fishing pole, and somebody ordered it. When it gets here, I'm going to use it, because other than that, my old fishing poles were all either broken or wore out. And so I was just going to be like putting out a trot line or using a fishing line. So if that fishing pole gets here, I'm going to use it. I don't really consider that much cheating, because I was going to fish anyway. It's just going to be a little better. The only other thing is, and I think I mentioned this on yesterday's program, is that we got some cabbages because we did not put in a garden. We did not put in any crops. And somebody asked me to do sauerkraut. We have sauerkraut I could eat, but somebody wants to see me make it. So I'm going to make sauerkraut. That's the only 2 things I'm going to be cheating on that are things that I've prepared for the challenge. Technologically, I've said any equipment that comes out that'll make the videos better, that'll give me more power, I'm going to do. Appreciate you guys. Go walk with your bride. That's right. I love to do it. And so I appreciate you guys. Love you. Lord willing, I will be back tomorrow. If not, I'll see you for the first live broadcast from the Off-Grid Challenge. Make sure that you like the video. Do go down in the description down here. Get Surviving Off-Grid. There's a donate support link where you can like send some ducats, some bling, some change, some dollars, some Patreon is down there. You can join that, give money every month if you want to. All that stuff's down in the description. Appreciate you guys. And Lord willing, stay safe, by the way. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow.